we only got so much time with you. This is what I took. All right, Fedor and Alexander Emelianenko. I'm closing with that, Miguel, even though I've got more. And then you can do your Abu Dhabi stuff because, Jeff, I am just, usually with Chris, me and Miguel use Chris to like get access and take more time than we're supposed to. But Chris isn't here. So I'm like way over my boundaries. It's like 5 a.m. You get your kids sleeping. So Alexander and Fedor, and then Miguel, your turn.
So Fedor is my first time in Russia. And it was like a dream for me to fight. I trained hard for this fight. And I thought, I'm going to shoot him and take him down. I watched a lot of his fights, man. He comes like a bulldog, boom, 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 like stalks you down, throws looping punches. I saw him fight Mark Coleman, beat Mark Coleman bad, but Mark Coleman took him down too. He just ended up getting armbarred. I'm like, he's not going to armbar me. So like, if I get on top of him, like I'm going to finish this guy. And so like, man, I felt really confident going this fight. I trained hard at American Top Team and everything. And I go the first time in Russia. I really loved Russia, like, the whole thing. And I go in there and he just fought so much smarter than I, the difference between me grappling and fighting is like, I think I'm a very good fighter, but I'm not an elite fighter. I got to admit, I'm not like the top of the top. You know what I mean? If I had won the UFC or something, I could maybe say that. So I'm a very good fighter, but not like, not a Hall of Fame fighter, not a great fighter, something like not a great fighter, a very good fighter. But I think I'm one of the best grapplers, ever, but at least competition wise. And the difference is when I fought guys in grappling that were better than me, or that did a different style or did something, I could change on the fly. I could figure out, okay, this isn't working. I could figure out how to win this fight against the best guys. Like, I can figure this out. Maybe he's better at this, but I'm going to change the game and I win. I figure out a way to win. And fighting against the elite guys, I had difficulty doing that. Like I had, like against a Fedor, like if he had come in like he normally did, bum, 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 flipping punches, like attacking, I think I'd take him down and beat him. He just like, you know what, Jeff, I'm going to kickbox you. I'm going to play. And so he threw a lot of like low kicks, jabs, like overhands, but he just kept the distance, man. Every time he knocked me down 4 or 5 times in the fight. And every time, the first time he got on top of me, and I tried like the half guard sweep, got his gun under his hips. He was getting on top, and he just kicked out. And then every other time after that, he knocked me down. He just said, okay, get back up. I'm not coming down there. And so he just made it a kickboxing match. He just fought smarter than me. I couldn't figure out. And, looking back and fight, like I've watched that tape I should have just attacked, like come in like a Chael Sonnen kind of thing where boom, 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 throw punches like in on you, pushing against the fence or the ropes, going for like a single leg, whatever, high crotch. But I stayed away, like afraid of his punches and like respected his thing and just didn't change the game. So he broke my leg probably in the second round maybe. And so I fought the rest of the fight, and like it was funny because I shook hands with his corner. They raised his hand. I started walking back to my corner, and then it was like, oh, and that was the last step I took for 6 weeks. I was like the adrenaline wore off enough, and so I got. And so this is a bittersweet fight because like this is the guy I really like. It would have meant more to me than the Tim Sylvia fight because this was Fedor, but that the next day Putin so they're trying to get a hold of me, I'm like all pissed off. They don't talk to me, like security's coming in, like I'm shooing them away, all this stuff. We're calling, I'm saying screw you. And then finally they come to the door and I'm not opening the door. I tell my corners, I'm not talking to anybody. They open the door and they go pick up the phone, and they go, security's calling me. And they said, I don't want to talk to security. They go, national security's calling you. I'm like, okay. So we pick it up, and Putin's on the other line. He's like, you had
him waiting. You had him waiting for a while.
I guess. And so I was like, hey man, like, you show the Russian spirit, you tried hard, you did your best, you didn't quit, and we admire you. And, so it was really nice. I mean, because he wasn't doing it in front of cameras or anything like that. He was doing it because he's a black belt in judo. He respects, showed some respect. So
did he speak English?
He spoke good English.
I'm not surprised at all.
No, he's a smart guy.
Oh yeah.
And
for sure.
So after that, man, I fought for M1 again and won, and then I beat some good people, and then had some streaks here, and did I was on their night show on Dancing with Stars, on their late night shows and some comedy shows and all this other stuff. So then and doing seminars and stuff, and started, that's how I got introduced to Russia, like being in Russia. So it was bittersweet, you know what I mean? So, and after the fight, I got to say about Fedor, how they got now the Conor McGregor guys are fighting and they're pissing at each other, and it's all like it's a WWE. Like after this fight, man, he came up to me in the corner or in the locker room afterwards, and then he shook my hand, he hugged me, really hugged me. He was like, man, thank you for the fight, like a gentleman, you know what I mean, like a cool guy. Like after, no cameras, no.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
a lot of amazing stuff packed into that segment.